Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX. First of all, apologies for the audio. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties and I have to use a microphone that doesn't sound so well. So hopefully the audio is not too bad on this video. Let's get right down to it, what we have going on here. You can see, first of all, in the markets in general today, we had a bit of a positive day, and we're still, we're still in that positive. So you can see Dow and S&P are up just a bit. Everything's looking pretty good there. We had a lot of news today, particularly the interest rates out of the UK and Europe, rate statements out of both places, which caused a lot of movement. And then coming into, and then in the U.S. we had trade balance, and then we have a little bit of Chinese and Japanese news coming out later today. The big events definitely will be tomorrow with Canadian and U.S. employment numbers. Those are always big ones to keep an eye on, and we should get some good volatility out of that. So normally we would do a live event. Everybody would be invited. It would be a big deal like we normally do. But I will be out of town for tomorrow's non-farm payroll, so I will check in during the event, but it won't be quite what it normally is. So let's have a little look at what we had going on today. We did a couple of little short, easy scalp trades last night. In the daily wrap-up session yesterday, we talked about that little run on the euro dollar up to the missed pivot, and we got a perfect little run of that, and then some, and then it came back, and then obviously we had this big run with the news. We did the same thing with the euro dollar, just a little run, just a quick little 25 pip scalp on both of those. So very nice little profits on both those trades. And the pound dollar ended up giving us a nice little run into that missed pivot as well. So a couple of good situations there, but still we've got to make sure that, try to join in those afternoon wrap-up sessions. They're really great, and there's been some fantastic profits coming out of those. So that being said, let's see what we have coming up on the euro dollar. Currently, we have broken above the weekly high. We've been in this channel, for quite a while now. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday now, and we finally break out of this weekly high and low that we've been in, and we're just barely out of that Friday channel as well. We tested it on the low side, and now we're back up to the upper part of it here. That's our Friday channel, which is 131.100. You can see that we're just above that. We're at about 131.10. I like this weekly high as support now. This is 130.75. So I like buying on the dip right here and looking for the bigger move up. I think we might finally be ready to break out of this 4-hour channel right here, which is what we're looking for. So I'd like to get that little retracement down into that, 130, 50, 60, 70 area, and then trade it up at least into, the 200 moving average and even a little bit beyond. You can see that we've got some weekly highs here of just last week. Really, we've had quite a run down there. So there's some possible targets, but I think this 200 moving average should be a pretty good one, and maybe even a little bit beyond. So a little dip, a little buy on that dip should be pretty good. Nice big bearish candle right here. We have a lot of support at this 129.65 area. It's held in there nicely, so I think there's a nice long-term run. Remember, in something like this, we need to get our stops below the low. So we're talking about 100, even a little bit over 100 pips on a stop loss, but there's at least 100 pips on a profit target move like this. So let's be ready for that. And that's what I think is happening with that euro dollar for now. Pound dollar, I'm a little bit torn. I don't know what I want to do with this pound dollar right now. It still looks weak. It looks bearish, and it definitely is without a doubt. But we don't have that great of a setup at the current moment here. We're really struggling with this kind of 150 area in general, and of course we've gotten down just below 150 to about 149.65, and then we're just kind of sitting there. We had a nice little double bottom down there, again 149.65, and then we had a nice bounce up, and we're back down in the middle. I'm watching this little short-term trend line. I think we might have enough support here for this thing to hold, but then again we might not. So I want to kind of get out of this channel. I would like to, what I'm kind of looking for at the moment is buying above 150.85. So it's a little ways away, but I think there's too much chop in the middle there. So buy at the break above 150.85, or wait for the break below this low here of 149.65. Everything in the middle is there's really nothing to trade in the middle except for a bunch of risky, range-bound kind of choppy markets. So that's why I think we're going to be better off waiting for that kind of a confirmation, that kind of a movement. So that's what I'm looking for there. On the Aussie dollar, we have some interesting stuff here. So again, we have that little scalp right there, just up to that daily pivot, and then it's just kind of hopped around here. We have a couple of things going on. We had a nice little double top, or just higher than a double top at about the 130 level, and now we're just kind of consolidated in there. Remember that retail traders are hugely long Aussie dollar, as they are pound dollar. But when retail traders are long or short something, the market really tends to kind of go the opposite direction. And so there's a high probability of that happening, but we have to kind of wait here. So again, I'm just taking kind of a breakout path on this Aussie dollar. If we break below 102.50, I'm a seller, and I think we have a nice run at least down into that 102.15, which is our low right there, but ultimately beyond. I think we have a nice run down into 101.50 from there. So once again, 101.50 puts us in retracement mode, and once we get down there, when and if we get down into the 101.50, 60, 70 area, at that point I'm looking to buy against these lows. So ultimately I'd like to see it get down to about 101.50, but at that point definitely want to buy against these lows right here, because remember, this on the daily chart is a huge reversal candle right there, and that's the low all the way back to 101.15, and so I think that level is going to hold for at least a little bit. Now we had a bit of a reversal candle here, and it's just been kind of a lot of chop. So again, that's where I'm just looking to see that kind of retracement down from, if we get the break of 102.50, I think we've got a good run into 101, 50, 60, 70 area, and that should be enough retracement on this move to really make a big run up. And I think that could very likely happen, especially with all those retail traders long, to kind of shake everybody out of the market and then head back up from 101.50, 50, 60 kind of area with stops against those lows. So that's what I'm looking for. Otherwise, if we don't get any of that retracement, then I'm long above 10300. I think 10300 should give us a nice little run into some of these upper levels, 103, 60, 70, 80, kind of that general area. So we should have a medium-sized run, and then even potentially as high as this 104, kind of 50, 60 area as well. So that's kind of what I'm looking for there. But that's what I'm watching for on that one, and then we're just kind of on the sidelines on a lot of these other pairs. The Aussie dollar from that break above Friday high, or excuse me, Aussie yen has not come back. That's held in there pretty strong. You can see the pound yen broke a weekly high, made a nice little run. Dollar yen, same thing. And we're starting to get some possible setups on like this Euro Aussie once again. This one's been a little while, and it's been a bit of a choppy mover. But I'm starting to keep my eyes on this, and I think we'll see a pretty nice little move as we start to get some of these breaks in the works right here. So keep an eye on this. We found a lot of support around 126.80, and I think we're going to start to get some breaks back above that. So keep an eye on that. We'll have a little bit more on that coming up. But some great setups are in the works, definitely, and we should get some good runs and some good profits. And remember, we've got non-farm payroll coming up, which is a big mover. We'll see how everything goes from there. Thanks a bunch, everyone. I'll see you in the chat. Make sure to keep an eye on Twitter for updates. Take care, everyone.